Greetings, everybody! Welcome to the MaffmanJones movie channel. I'm your host, John MaffmanJones. Today's featured film is a very cheerful film, very joyous film, a film that just makes you so damn happy. just War for the Planet of the Apes. It's directed by Matt Reeves. It stars Andy Serkis as Caesar and Woody Harrelson as a colonel who just wants to end this war. And there's also a bunch of twists and turns in the story I'm not going to give away here, obviously, but this movie is a conclusion to the new Planet of the Apes trilogy that will then move into the older 60s films that starred the late Charlton Heston, if you didn't know. We have Caesar, who was born and brought into a home by James Franco and learning about the innocence being taken away because Earth's the motherfucker, and then seeing how he progresses becoming a leader of the apes from that movie to Dawn to now War, and seeing his story being fulfilled as the true leader of the apes is one of the most satisfying things that I've seen in movies in my life. It's so well captured, the essence is just so pure and genuine, and seeing, especially if you've seen all three movies, and you should, to get the full experience out of these movies. Seeing Caesar's decision making and seeing how he reacts and seeing how he progresses through the story based on what he's done in the past two movies and seeing what he's doing because of just how dire situation is now, there's something really visceral about it. It could be argued that some of the directions they took for the story and these characters could have been handled differently and for the better, but in my opinion, I was just so suckered into the story because the first 25 minutes or so of this film are so bleak and tragic and horrible, but it's filmed so beautifully. Although there's nothing beautiful about this movie, really. There are moments of beauty, and those moments of beauty are needed to bring levity to an overall really, really negative film. And I mean negative in the sense that everything is so dark. There's so much negativity going on with our characters. If you know me from my normal reviews, I don't condone spoilers, but there is a lot more emotional investment if you've seen the other two movies, and seeing as this is the war for the Planet of the Apes, things happen in war that are unexpected and tragic, and that definitely takes a play into this movie, and some of the stuff that happens in this movie involving war just hit me like a ton of bricks, and I'm still thinking about it now. But thankfully, due to this film being extremely bleak, we do have moments of levity that are beautiful, and also we have that in Bad Ape, played by Steve Zahn, who has some really nice comedic moments that, in context of the story, do give you a little chuckle, a nice little laugh before, things get dire and dark and bleak again. All the performances are really good in this movie. I really liked Woody Harrelson's performance, even though it wasn't what I expected, and we don't get as much out of him as you would expect. His scenes really do make an impact, and you really hate the dude, but you understand the dude. Andy Serkis, what can I say about the guy? I mean, it's a mix of incredible special effects that you have to give props to the people behind this stuff for making such magic happen on the screen. But it's also partially thanks not just to those incredible magicians, but to Andy Serkis and the other performers that are apes. Because, man, I can't even explain to you. Seeing that happen in a movie theater is one of the most incredible things that'll ever happen if you're a film fan. It has been done in the past, the motion capture, but it hasn't been perfected quite like it has here. There are so many close-up shots of these apes, and you freaking believe that it's real. It's like Matt Reeves and the crew behind this movie just want to rub it in how damn good the effects are. Look how incredible they are. You can't even tell, right? Because there are so many moments where the camera, but for emotional effect, it's in context of the story, it makes sense, but there's so many moments where the camera will dolly in on a face, and it looks way too real. It really honestly blew my mind how good everything appeared visually, and visually this movie is a marvel. I can't praise it enough. Moving back into the plot side of things, I think the direction this movie takes is bold, it's ambitious, it's different. There are a couple things that happen that people might not be satisfied with in how it concludes, and I do have a little bit of a flaw with the actual last scene of the movie, but overall, I was so, it doesn't matter with plot holes. If you are into the story and you just, get engaged from beginning to end, you forget these plot holes, then who cares about plot holes? Because the movie was that good enough that it engaged you for 2.5 hours. And this movie did that. And I'm sure there are plot holes that I'm not thinking of, but like the movie was so freaking well directed and well made that I didn't care. Also, Michael Giacchino, who seems to be composing all the music in Hollywood lately, has one of the most primitive but emotionally resonating scores that he's ever done. Like, this is like in his wheelhouse, where like the music really plays a role in how tone is set and how the scenes are set and how you feel when you're watching these characters actually emote. Apes together strong. Overall though, War for the Planet of the Apes is a very satisfying conclusion to the new trilogy of Planet of the Apes films that just tells its own really compelling story about Caesar, but also makes you want to go back and watch the original Charlton Heston films, and also just explore the mythology of this world. Again, performances all around are great. Andy Serkis deserves an Oscar nomination for Caesar. Even if it wasn't his best performance in this trilogy, I think he deserves a nod. Motion capture is a mix of great craftsmanship from visual effects artists and the actors, and it's the perfect blend here. I'm speechless when I talk about it. The pacing may be off in some moments, and maybe the ending isn't as satisfying as it could be to some viewers, including myself, in a couple little nuanced regards. But overall, this movie is like one of the best trilogy cappers that I've ever seen. It really is probably one of the best trilogies that's out there, just from a visual perspective. Story-wise, it's also one of the most engaging endings for a trilogy I've ever seen. Like, the whole movie is just bleak and dark and horrible, but in a really ironically beautiful way. But seriously, the movie does carry a lot of emotional baggage though, so just be prepared for that. And I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's MaffmanJones darn good. But now I want to know from you guys, what'd you think of War for the Planet of the Apes? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Andy Serkis deserves a nomination for the Oscars for this role of Caesar? Because if he didn't get it for Gollum, Smeagol, you should definitely get it for this. If you enjoyed my review of War for the Planet of the Apes, please like it. Please subscribe if you haven't already so you won't miss a video from me ever again. Check out my social medias down below. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I need to watch a very happy movie or like a video of a kitten like playing a piano. Because, dang it! See you guys next time.